Maybe I'll even stretch to 2.
James locks eye contact, waits for a few seconds, then comes back with a simple, witty line.
Buy me a drink.
Maybe I'll even stretch to 2.
I mentioned verbal warfare. Verbal dominance, yeah, that sounds better. James is a master of it. One of the key components is to react out of the usual. There is a technique which I won't give right now because that deserves an entire video on its own and it has to be explained in proper context, but James uses that same tactic here. And the result? Wittiness.
Now you can afford to buy me a drink.
Maybe I'll even stretch to 2. I'm guessing I've got 4 million euros in here.
Not bad.
Now James is bragging sarcastically here, meaning he brags in such a manner to make her impressed by it, but doing it in a way letting her know that this is intention. It's a fun little form of banter that is established.
I'm guessing I've got 4 million euros in here.
Not bad.
Once done talking, he turns away. Friends, I'm going to keep repeating this in every video because it is a key component of alpha behavior. Alpha's eye contact must be earned. They tend to give more eye contact when they're speaking and less when they are listening, portraying my attention is harder to come by. But again, don't go around not looking people in the eye when talking. Now I know how contradicting this all seems. Don't do it too much, but don't do it too little. If you give too much attention, you seem too eager and needy, your attention is cheap. But not giving it at all makes you seem so disinterested that people shouldn't bother. Or even arrogant. Or with certain other clauses makes you seem shy. Now, where is the balance? Friends, opt for looking someone in the eyes about 75 to 85% of the time when speaking and 55 to 75% when listening.
I like this game.
Well, why don't we play another?
I don't gamble.
Watch your face closely. There's a micro expression that says a lot.
Well, why don't we play another?
I don't gamble.
It's the micro expression of disgust. She really despises gambling.
I don't gamble. I'm not very lucky.
A little like our friend in Shanghai.
Still no eye contact.
I've been waiting to see who would redeem the chip. You made such a bold entrance into a little drama.
Did I overcomplicate the plot?
See how utterly relaxed his face is. It's as if he has Botox injected everywhere except his mouth region. Thomas Shelby has this as well when he speaks. Now here's where you should be careful when you guys emulate them. I got many Instagram messages the past 2 weeks asking about how to emulate or be like some character or another. I've responded to every single one of you thus far, but here's where the danger of mimicry is. If you go around like this in the world and not use hand gestures, talk in a monotone voice, just to look and sound alpha as Hollywood actors, you are missing the point. Realize that what we are analyzing are meta behaviors. Movies are a distillation of people's lives and show the most important parts that connect the narrative together. How boring would it be if we continuously saw every actor going to the toilet or brushing their teeth, wake up, etc, etc. So the behaviors we see aren't ideal, but not suited to be adopted 24/7. For instance, alphas tend to speak less with hand gestures, be more non-reactive. However, if you're giving a presentation at work or explaining complex matters and talk in a monotone voice with short sentences, then you're very unlikely to get your message across. You become ineffective. You may look alpha, but you'll become the opposite. How would it come across if I stopped talking without hand gestures? Speak in a monotone voice and squinting my eyes. Just talking like this doesn't get a message across well to you. So then the question becomes, what should you do? Here's my tip regarding this. When talking, use hand gestures there where they are effective to get your message across. Because the higher goal of communication is not to portray yourself as being a certain way, it's the transference of information and or emotion. Efficacy should be prioritized. However, it doesn't mean you can't optimize your behavior to have your cake and eat it too. And that is the purpose of showing you these behaviors and breaking it down. Learning to see what the positive sides of their behavior and mindset are. Now, when you are listening, tone down your movements, slow it down. Friends, I'm gonna say it again, don't blindly copy things. It is the less attractive side of these breakdowns, but a necessary one to talk about when a person tries to genuinely better your life.
Did I overcomplicate the plot?
Who doesn't appreciate the occasional twist, Mr.
Bond. James Bond.
There, then he gives her his eye contact again. Emphasizing his name, he turns his head very quickly. It is abnormal to his usual behavior, way out of his usual baseline, and this captivates people. Puts her at high alert, and then he delivers his iconic line, which is his name. Great way to emphasize.
James Bond.
Severine. So, Mr. Bond.
Also, look how beautiful her eyes are. It has something spicy, exotic, and yet somehow soothing. Fortunately, my girlfriend has the same eyes. It draws you in somehow. I can't put my finger on what it is exactly. Perhaps it's the makeup. Look how close they stand. Locked eye contact. Also, how slowly she speaks. I find it extremely sexy.
So, Mr. Bond, shall we discuss your next performance over that drink?
I like that.
Eye squinting. This shows displeasure or concern. They try to block the light entering their eyes. Again, this is very situational. We also squint when we are simply focusing on something or trying to make sense of something we heard.
May your friends be joining us?
This is the reason why he squinted. He doesn't like it when her quote-unquote friends join them.
May your friends be joining us?
That, I'm afraid, is inevitable.
Raising eyebrows. This eyebrow raise shows submission among many other things. For example, when you see someone in the streets and flash your eyebrows, you show them I mean no harm. Another example, if someone asks you a question whilst flashing their eyebrows, it usually means they know the answer to the question. Keating and Keating found that several species of apes and monkeys use exactly the same gesture for the same purpose. They also found that people who intentionally raise their eyebrows are perceived as submissive by both humans and apes, and those who lower them are perceived as aggressive. Also an eye squint here. We'll discover why she doesn't like them to join her later in the video.
That, I'm afraid, is inevitable.
She's pretty.
Notice James Bond looking down here. It looks like he's checking her out, but you know what, we'll get to this in a second. I wanted to highlight the difference in male versus female high status walk, as where James Bond sways his shoulders. Severine is swaying her hips. Reason for this, as explained in the video about the 6 traits of a high status walk, is that men have more testosterone than females in general, and there are a lot of androgen receptors in the shoulders and the trap area, making men carry more weight there. Females, for birth-giving reasons, have a wider pelvis, so in essence they are both highlighting the sexuality.
She's pretty,
No.
if you like that sort of thing.
I'll keep you posted.
That's the voice you just heard. They're on a mission together. Now, I promised myself to not make videos on how to pick up girls or show techniques on how to do so for your own best will. I explained this in depth to some of you. I do want to point out that when you are seen with other women, your perceived attractiveness goes up instantly. The reason for this is something called pre-selection. Without diving into biological mechanisms in place, nature is that which selects. Through evolution, we develop many mechanisms for mate selection. And when a female sees a man with another female, all the tedious processes are done for her. See, when a woman meets a man, she has to make sure whether he isn't a psychopath, whether he'll be able to provide for her and future offspring in one shape or another, and many other things. They do this by testing the males in various ways, verbally and emotionally. This is known to most men as a shit test. It is a tedious process, but when she sees the man with another woman, she automatically knows that's taken care of. Because why else would